Copier.
Okay, Karen with Icon Office is here tonight
Hi.
to present a proposal on our copy equipment. And Jennifer, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Icon Office, 3 years ago,
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's
3 years
true.
ago, Icon Office gave us bids on our copy machines, and they were selected to provide us with Canon copiers. The current contract expires in November.
But, I'm sorry, John, it's actually January 2011.
Okay, January.
Yeah, so you had 7 months remaining on the contract.
Oh, that's right, we had a delay before the contract started. We
Right,
got
right.
the machines in November. So we're looking at, our contract coming up, and in the meantime, what happened with Icon Office is that they no longer are a Canon copier distributor. They have turned over to Ricoh line of products, and they have other products also that they provide. So they had approached us to give us a proposal on upgrading our equipment and, giving us an option to, get more machines in. And they did an assessment, so I'm gonna let Jennifer go ahead
Sure.
and speak to the board regarding what their assessment was and what their proposal for our district would be.
So one of the strengths that Icon, as a partner, as a vendor partner for a lot of our larger organizations, brings to the partnership is the ability to go in and sort of help you to better manage the way you access information, the way you manage your documents. And so what I did for the district was I came in and with the help of Mr. McGee and then also Gary, your IT staff, I went in and did an assessment of where the volume of all your printed documents are coming from. And essentially right now, all of your Canon copiers that you have through Icon, you have 6 devices. There's one in the elementary school, there's one in the middle school, there's one in the high school office, there is one in the district office, and then you have your print shop. And the print shop has 2 devices in the print shop that Sarah runs. And so the goal was for me to help the district identify where all the volume of printed output was coming from. So we have devices that we can plug into your network that go out and they essentially touch all of the printers that are on in the network and pull what's called a meter reading. It's kind of like an odometer on your car. Every print device has one, and it keeps track of how many pages are being printed through that device. So what I did was I took a 2-week snapshot and then I did a month snapshot as well during a typical 2-week period of time and a month period of time in the cycle of the activities in school. So what I found was that in every one of the locations where you have a large copier device sitting in an office area, you also have, in some cases, 2, 3, 4 other printing devices, in other words, single function devices that just do one thing, sitting in close proximity to a large copier. And where Icon's strength comes into play for you is to help you to understand, well, if we've got rid of all of these other devices that are sitting around essentially doing something that a primary device could do for you, it not only saves money, it increases efficiency, and there's cost savings and efficiency savings built into migrating. It's called migrating the print volume, essentially, is taking them off of those single function desktop printers and migrating them towards a device that's less expensive for the district to run. And so my proposal details each individual area, what I found in each individual area as far as the volume coming off of different devices, and then put a proposal together which will ultimately save the district money and increase the efficiency of the way documents are managed, and also allow for faculty to have easier access to things like faxing and scanning and printing and copying on a device that's designed to handle larger volumes in each of those areas. Does anybody have any questions about? I know it's a lot to sort of digest, but. And so what I did was, like I said, I just went through and outlined each individual area. And if you look at the way I put the proposal together is And I'll just kind of go through really quickly sort of some of the, because a lot of times people really don't understand the advantage to doing this. To kind of give you a really sort of extreme version of what I'm presenting to the district, we have a copier fleet at St. Patrick's Hospital, and we have a copier fleet at Community Medical. And Community Medical was a Canon, just like you guys are now, was a Canon customer of Icon's. And we went in and replaced 75 copiers throughout the entire hospital with a print migration strategy in mind. So in other words, taking all of these little printers that were sitting all over the place, phasing them out and migrating all the print volume to larger multifunctional devices. And the conservative estimate was they were going to save about $75,000 in the first year just on purchasing and in phasing out the need to purchase toner cartridges for those single function printers. They saved $75,000 in the first 4 months as a result of, because again, when we go in and do an assessment like this, I'm always very conservative about the numbers that I provide. So we provide a cost savings based on 5% fill. In other words, 5% of the page being taken up with toner. But in actuality, the more likely scenario is it's going to be a 2 to 3 times at least savings represented by these numbers here. By just stopping the use of, or phasing out the use of those single function printers, so you're not buying toner for those and using the multifunctional devices. So on that first page, I kind of give you an overview of the fact that Florence Carlton School District currently has 13 single function, in other words, they're just printers, that's all they do, and 6 Icon copiers, and then there are several fax machines. Now this does not include anything in a teacher's room. So any teacher that has a printer in their room, that doesn't include any of this. This is just in those primary locations where we have the copiers and printers. So there's 13 printers, 6 copiers, and then also the fax machines. 8 of the single function HP and Dell printers are sitting in close proximity to the copiers. This presents the district with a great opportunity to save money and resources with a print migration strategy. Many of Icon's customers are taking steps, like the big hospitals, to reduce their cost on consumables such as toner on these single function devices. So ultimately this proposal is designed to include copy, print, scan, and fax all in one single function device, reduce your overall expense by reducing the use of those single function printers and fax machines while consolidating your workflow. So in other words, a teacher sends a print job to one device. It's not, well, did this go to that one or did it go over here? And there's a way to manage where those documents are going, manage when it's printed. So in other words, if a teacher is in the middle of something and thinks, oh, I've got to print 10 of these packets to use for a class 3 hours later, she can send that to the device and it will actually hang on to it. It won't print it yet. She can then, when she's finished with her class, run over to the device, release a print project, it comes out, she walks away with it. So it provides for a lot more flexibility with document output, where you're not just having to send something and it just prints and there it is and it's sitting there till you can actually go pick it up. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about document efficiency and workflow efficiency, that you're able to manage that output a little bit better. I've also included an at-remote fleet management software. It's an actual piece of hardware and software that will allow the district, so Gary and Mr. McGee or whomever has access to that information, can actually go in and see where the volume is coming from and basically do what I did over that month. Whenever you want to see that information, you can start to kind of manage your document output through that device. And ultimately then provide you new technology. So something that's more reliable, something that's more cost effective, it's going to cost the district less money to produce that printed output. Then I've got this page here where it's actually the MFP recommendation, where I've identified what is currently in place and then what would be replaced with a new device. So that's represented on this page here that says MFP placement recommendations. But then to provide something that's probably a little bit easier to look at, I have each individual location broken down with the existing devices and then my recommended devices and then all the machine specs. So all of these machines with the exception of anything in the print shop, are going to print, copy, scan, and fax for each individual location. The print shop will they'll only have print and copy, because there's no need to really be able to, and they'll scan too. So print, copy, and scan in the print shop, but not faxing out of the print shop. And so that's outlined in each individual area. At the top it says district print shop. And then I follow that up with a brochure. I'm so sorry, I should have given that. Too much sharing. So is that making sense to everybody, kind of what the ultimate goal is? They're all color enabled, so they will all allow for color output. However, every device is manageable by usernames and passcodes. So if you wanted to, and Mr. McGee and I talked a little bit about this, if you wanted to say, well, we're going to give certain teachers or certain departments the ability to print in full color, but they need a password to do so. And we can assign username and passwords to everybody in the school. We can block out the ability to print or copy in color from the device, that it is password protected. So you can manage your costs that way as well by allowing for password protecting any and all functionality on the device. Just a couple things to point out in some of the areas that, obviously all of the areas will be upgraded to a more robust device, because again, the idea is to migrate that print volume from all your single function printers and print them to a less expensive device to operate. But the primary, like let's take for instance the district print shop. I was talking to Sarah about some of the challenges she faces with the existing Canon equipment. These Ricoh devices are actually going to help her overcome some of those challenges, not only from a functionality standpoint, but also from a reliability standpoint. The Ricoh devices, the large production device, which is the 907, it actually comes with user replaceable parts. So if the machine goes down and has to have internal parts rebuilt or serviced by a technician, we actually have a backup for her on site, for her to take out the bad, put in the new, and then just call a technician. And rather than having that machine be completely down until the technician can come out and work on the machine, she's back up and running again immediately. He comes and picks up the one that needs to be serviced, services that, and then brings it back as her backup. So whereas currently if the large production machine goes down and needs repair, she can't use that device until he's able to come out and repair that. And in some cases, if it requires ordering parts, obviously there's a little bit of a delay in that. And so that's the other advantage to that large production device in the print shop, and I know some of the hours are going to change a little bit in the print shop, but we've also lowered your cost per copy for all prints coming off of that large production device. So, and that's noted at the very bottom, where it's the lowest cost per copy in the fleet. So the advantage to the district is obviously to funnel as much project work and as much of those larger print jobs to the large device in the print shop, rather than utilizing some of the smaller devices throughout the district. And again, it's designed to handle that increased production, that increased workflow. So does anybody, as you look through that, have any questions about the goal or the pricing or?
Yeah, this, you have, I don't know if you covered this or you're going to cover this now, this cost comparison sheet.
Yeah, go ahead and I'll cover it when I go over that. I mean, go ahead and ask me the question and.
Oh, I was just, if you're
Oh,
going to
sure,
go over
sure.
it, that's good, or otherwise I had some questions.
Okay, perfect. Let me just I'll go through some of these bullet points for the ease of use. All of the devices